I've just woken up, day 3. The fire went out, so I'm gonna get some more char cloth, spark it back up. But for now, first thing I want to do is check my traps. So let's go check all of them. I can already see the figure 4 from here. It's right over there, undisturbed. There's the Paiute deadfall, still set. I swear it's like there's nothing here as far as squirrels, rabbits. I can almost guarantee the bait, the sweet tart rope, is still on there. Yep. I tried to lead her the easy way, and she wants to go the hard way. Careful. You careful. Good girl. Okay. Here are the 2 traps next to each other. Totally undisturbed. Totally undisturbed. Undisturbed. There we go. Undisturbed. Oh good, Fajita found the way. Undisturbed. And last one. Right there. Undisturbed. Look at that. That's the look of a girl who did her poo-poos and then found her way back to the nice warm tent, huh? You good girl. There we go. That should do it, I hope. I always see on TV where they just dump a bunch on really quick, but I felt like I just smothered it when I did that. That's gonna go though. We're good. Okay, so this is the tree that I've identified as river birch. So I'm just gonna see if I can get some of the bark off. Okay, this one appears to be working finally. It's like you gotta get just the right spot, just the right texture. The first one I tried, oh, just like that, so easy. I've been studying the trees, and there's really three main types of trees around here. There's pine, there's oak, and there's cedar. And then I was trying to match up all the sticks on the ground, which stick goes with which tree. And it was very confusing, but I think I finally got it figured out. Confusing because the same tree will produce lots of different kinds of sticks, and some of the trees, specifically cedar and oak, produce sticks that are almost identical. So at this point, the easy one is pine. It has this thick, extremely brittle bark that you can usually just twist and the bark will peel off. Yeah, so that's pine. Here's one that's mostly stripped, but still some bark on it. And you see the underbark, or that the wood itself has these patterns that forms. So this is all pine. Here's somewhere the bark looks quite different, but it's even reddish like cedar, but it flakes off pretty easy, and you see that same pattern on the wood underneath. I was really hoping this would be the cedar, because cedar is the only one I can make a fire kit with, and these pieces would be the easiest to work with. So then we have cedar, and if you look at this one and this one on the left is cedar, this one on the right is oak, and they almost seem identical. They're striated. They have like ridges that go parallel, and the feel is very similar. It just feels like dirty wood. They both have stuff growing on it. The oak has a lot of white and dark moss or whatever growing on it. The cedar gets a lot of this whatever this kind of moss is or whatever growing on it, but very similar. Here you can see oak with the kind of dark and light stuff growing on it, even some orange in there. And then here's cedar with the bark on. It's kind of papery flakes, reddish color. So now that I've identified the different types, what I want to do is find cedar and make a fire kit. There was this dead tree right here. It was standing. So this is cedar. It was just standing right there, and I just gently pushed it over and it fell right down. So I'm pretty sure I can get a hearth board out of this. I don't see a piece straight enough to make a dowel. Maybe somewhere in there I can make a dowel or spindle. I will have to test how straight it is. We'll see. I'm just here working on a list of stuff that I wish I had, but I didn't bring, and also stuff that I brought that I wish I hadn't. So I got mini jerry can. That's the number one most important thing. It would have been really helpful to have some uninsulated metal container that I could use to boil the water, cool the water, and it would be uninsulated, so it would cool much faster, and then drink straight out of there, use it for whatever I want straight out of there. A normal jerry can is huge. I want basically like a 1 gallon jerry can. Second is shoes, sandals. I just brought my normal shoes, which these are my everyday shoes, the shoes that I wear to the gym. I hate to bring them out here, but I just didn't have any other ones. I think it's really cool to have like the running sandals that are really snug. They don't slip, so you can hike in them, but you can also just cross the creek without even thinking about it. Very versatile. I was looking at getting some, but they're pretty expensive to buy new. And then I hate to say it, but inflatable sleeping pad and pillow. If it was inflatable, it could fold up real tiny and it wouldn't be a burden as far as packing it. Like I brought my yoga mat and that takes up a lot of space, and still it didn't do much. My back was still killing me the first 2 nights. Sharper tools, my axe and probably my machete as well, both need a new edge, and I was thinking I could just kind of sharpen them when I'm out here, but I really haven't learned how yet. With my main buck knife, I can do it. I've learned how with the field sharpener. I can get it pretty much shaving sharp, but I wish my axe and my machete, I would have practiced and sharpened them before I came out and had them start at least razor sharp. And then a tarp or a tarpaulin or whatever the Brits say, whatever they call it, tarpaulin. That would have been great for a couple reasons. Number one, I could have used that for my shelter. Without having to gather all those sticks, I could have just put the tarp up. That would have been great. Second, I was just thinking hasn't been a cloud in the sky the entire time, but if it did happen to rain, I would be pretty screwed. I have my tent, which right now is not even waterproof, but I could put the little umbrella on it, and I have a raincoat, and that's it. So anything else would be getting wet, and I'd be pretty screwed, honestly, if it rained. It's 2 o'clock now. What I want to do for the rest of the day, other than water, is I want to finish collecting my, or not just collecting, but building my cedar bow drill kit. I've been having all kinds of trouble with that. I mentioned sharper tools in my list for next time, what I need to change. The axe is dull. I'm having a tough time splitting the piece of cedar for the hearth board, but I want to get back on that. And I also want to work on the bow drill kit that I brought with me. I need to sharpen the end that goes into the handle because it kept coming out of the handle, so I need to deepen the hole and sharpen the end of the spindle so I can get it to stay in the handle. So work on those 2 fire kits. I need to cut the other sleeve off of that shirt and make another batch of char cloth. And finally, I want to start packing up, make at least 1 trip to the car, pack up all the stuff that I didn't use or that I no longer need to use, so that I'll be able to get out of here earlier tomorrow morning. And that's about it, other than the typical taking my bath in the creek and going to bed. I don't know if you can see it, but the smoke, oh, I think it just stopped. The smoke was definitely coming out of the hole in the container. Well, it stopped, so I guess that means it's done. Okay, definitely want to let that cool before I try to open it. As you can see, I've got this piece of cedar almost split, just using the machete with the baton. But also just okay. All right. Well, both of these pieces actually came out pretty good. So I might as well turn them both into a hearth board. I'll try one first. Maybe this one, because it's got less to it. It'll be quicker to make. And if that works, I'll probably turn this one into a hearth board as well. All right, let's check on the char cloth here. Once again, it didn't get all of it. So let me try to flip it, put it back in, see if it'll start smoking again. Okay, so that's the bark removed, and it's looking pretty straight. So yeah, assuming this material actually works, should be able to get a nice spindle out of that.